hello and welcome to the 76th episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go up for free every Wednesday in audio format on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast directories, and in video format on YouTube, so you can see us in stunning HD. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. You can find us online at createforsanity.com, where you can listen to episodes, subscribe for behind-the-scenes news, read radical articles, and buy some sick t-shirts from our shop. Also, be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/GameSpeakPodcasts to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, Jamal Aljaafreh, alongside Brent Bass.
Double bass.
It's two basses.
Two basses. I like it.
I don't know. It just makes it seem like you're more
double
intense.
The bass.
Yeah.
Double the fun.
Double.
Double
The
It's like this.
fun,
What was
dude.
those? The Double Mint commercials back in the day where they'd have like the twins chewing the gum and they'd be double the freshness and you know.
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, dude. Those chicks were creepy.
Yeah, totally.
They were kind of like the Shining.
I wonder what they're doing now.
Hopefully dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Dang!
Just kidding.
Jeez.
I don't wish.
We're
any
off to
death
a
on
great
anybody.
start today. Wow.
I mean, we're already gonna bring in. We're getting controversial all episode.
the whole episode.
Which-
Controversy to controversy. We're doing this. That's the great thing about podcasts. We can just be
We can do whatever
as
we want.
controversial as we feel like. You know?
Yeah,
I
dude.
feel like it's one of the last mediums of uncensored.
True power.
Yeah.
True power.
So what's been up, man? How's life?
Oh, it's been pretty good, man. How about you? How's the life?
Pretty good. I think I'm gonna have to get a haircut though. My hair is literally just poking me in the eye over and over again.
Yeah, it's like I can only see half of your face.
Every
right
time
now.
I talk, like my hair just like flips up because the air from my mouth is like blowing my hair.
It's pretty intense.
It's a hassle, bro. You know, and then I got this fucking mullet back here. Look at this. Look at this.
You got a problem with mullets?
You just turn around and you've got like a huge mullet.
I kind of like my hair naturally grows into a mullet if I don't get it trimmed and stuff. Like the hair on my back, the hair on the back of my head
turns into a mullet, dude.
Yeah, dude. I just got a mop
You
for a
just
back.
grow like one of those. What's it called on a horse? The mane.
Ursula.
Is that
No,
what
I
the
don't
word
know.
is? Mane.
It is mane.
Yeah.
I'm definitely. I
grow a
definitely got
mane?
mane. No, but not in back hair. On back of my head hair, and like it grows into like this rat tail, and then it grows into a full mullet if I don't mess with it.
Dude,
for
that'd
too
be
long.
great if you just had a full mullet and you just wore like red, white, and blue shirts all the time. You know what I mean? Like tank tops.
Dude, that might have to be my new online persona.
Yeah, dude. Yes.
Just like take on the full just redneck lifestyle.
Yes, dude.
Not- I've never had a truck before, but yeah. So let's jump into the news, dude. Just so you guys know, we are using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we don't claim any of the material as our own. We are simply giving commentary on these articles. So, Brent, let's jump into it. Let's start off with Ubisoft has revealed that it will not launch a new Assassin's Creed title in 2019 and instead will support this year's entry, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, with additional content designed to keep players engaged in the game. Speaking at Gamescom, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot explained. Yeah, I don't know that. Well, he explained that Assassin's Creed Odyssey's 2018 release was enabled because both 2017's Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey were being developed at the same time, and Odyssey will not be immediately followed by another game. Quote, "On Assassins, we had a game in 2018, and we have one this year, but we are not going to have a full-fledged Assassins next year," said Guillemot. It's just because the teams were working separately. So we have two games now, 1 year after the other. But next year, you're not going to have a fully fledged. Okay, quit saying that. As to whether
Keep saying we're not gonna have a fully fledged one. Does
Yeah.
that mean they're gonna have one of those side scroller bullshit ones or something? Like, what, is there some kind of Assassin's Creed offshoot they got coming? You know?
Well, this is what he says. He says, when asked whether this meant there would be a spin-off title or something smaller instead of a brand new, fully fledged entry in the Assassin's Creed series, Guillemot confirmed that this would not be the case either.
Oh.
He said, quote, "Well, what you'll have is lots of content coming on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. The team really wants to give, on a regular basis, some new possibilities for play. So when you get Odyssey this year, you're going to get in for a couple of years, actually. Odyssey comes out on October 5th.
I think it might be fun, you know? I'm not going to hold my breath.
See, for Odyssey?
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be a good game, you know? Like, as good as any of the Assassin's Creed games, I guess.
Yeah, and as for the whole, like, we're not going to put out a game this year, it's good. It's a good thing. I like whenever they don't put Assassin's Creed out every year because they obviously don't put the time
think
into
a little
it.
bit more about the next one.
Exactly.
Yeah. You notice after, like, long hiatuses, they usually come back with some kind of, like,
quality
game-changing element to the game. Like when they came back with, was it Unity, where they had the multiplayer and shit like that?
That was in a continuous year after year span.
Was it really?
Yeah, the first one to not be that was the one that just came out. Origins, yeah. That was the first one that they took a hiatus for like 2 years and then came back with.
Allegedly, it was pretty good from what I've heard.
Yeah, I've heard mixed. Like, some people are like, I love this game, and then some people are like, it's
I think
boring.
A lot of the fanboys were disappointed that they changed a lot of the combat elements and stuff like that, you know?
Well, you can't just go change in combat, dude. No, I'm just kidding. Now, that, and I mean, this new one, Odyssey, is going to have like actual narrative options, you know, like choices you can make. It'll be the first one to do that.
That's cool.
Give it some BioWare feel.
Weird though, because isn't most of it based on like history and like the concept that you're using an animus to view your ancestors' memories? So like, would you really have the power to make choices in your ancestors' like stead? You know what I mean?
Maybe this one isn't them going back in time.
Maybe
it's the actual.
No, it is because it's Roman. That wouldn't make. Oh, I guess so. Maybe it's the actual thing. You think?
Yeah, like maybe this is you're living the actual story, and then in the next one you'll get to go back.
But that just wouldn't even make sense for the Assassin's Creed universe.
I don't know what the Assassin's Creed universe is, man.
It would be the first Assassin's Creed game where they're not doing that. I feel like
where they're not. That's what I'm saying.
They're not in the animus, like.
Yeah, what if they're not in the animus? What if this one is
I guess you could still base it in that like world where there's like Templars and
or maybe people from the animus appear in the game.
What? But it's a memory, you know?
Oh, okay. I'm feeling like the way that I'm hearing it is that it's like a time machine almost.
Imagine all of your ancestors' memories are like lodged in your DNA, and you have the ability to access them through a machine and play them like a movie in your mind. That's kind of the concept of Assassin's Creed.
So what's the point? Are you just trying to find information, or can you alter history that way?
In the original Assassin's Creed, you're trying to find information. What they're trying to do is you're like basically abducted by like this Illuminati style group who's like trying to get ancient secrets out of you because your ancestors were like these assassins, you know? So you're the only one who could like see what they saw because you have their blood, you know?
Gotcha. But my thing is, so do you have to live out play by play how it happened, or are you like altering stuff in history?
You basically have to live out play by play how it happened.
Okay,
like,
so
like if you kill too many innocent people or something, it'll be like out of sync with how it actually played out, and you'll lose. You know what I mean?
We'll see. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about though. Like maybe this one is like an offshoot where you're playing as your ancestor already, like you're setting it up for the next game, but then there's going to be a twist.
A twist.
Because, you know, they can't keep doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know. Maybe they could. I don't know much about the story.
You know, I mean, you're right. They could totally set it back in the day. I don't know. It's interesting to think about. I'm not sure if Origins used the Animus thing. You know what I mean? I haven't played Origins, but I know that most of the ones preceding that did. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cyberpunk 2077 has put out a 48-minute gameplay trailer.
I saw that.
I saw it too. Pretty good stuff. Looks pretty interesting. I'm excited about it. What was that?
We're trying to get sponsored by Coke Zero.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Product placement.
Product
right there.
placement.
For those of you listening at home, Jamel is slurping a Coke Zero seductively while we talk about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. We'll get back to it.
So they showed this 48-minute. It's on YouTube if you're interested. There's like a whole 48-minute long gameplay video, and I assume this is probably the same video they showed all the people at that press conference.
The
you know
E3
what I mean?
press
Yeah,
conference?
the one that everybody's talking about. Because a lot of the highlights of the video are kind of things that were mentioned.
Yeah, and a lot of the people on Twitter that had actually seen it before said that was like exactly what they watched.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Big open world. Apparently, lots of vehicles you can drive.
It's pretty.
It's very, very pretty. I don't know. I'm interested to see how it ends up feeling and playing. You know,
I think that's the main thing. Is like we all knew it was going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
We all know what we're in for, but the question is, does it feel good?
Well, you know, if it feels anything like The Witcher, hopefully it will feel good. But it's just interesting because I don't think that they've done a first-person title like this ever.
They've never done a first-person. So, yeah. I mean, it's a huge jump going from a third-person open-world RPG to a first-person open-world.
I think it's going to translate well, though.
Oh, I think they got it.
There was a part when they're in the car and he switches from first person to third person view while he's driving. I don't know.
I don't think you can do that.
I don't know if you can do that on foot. But
from what I've seen, you can't. Apparently, like they don't want you to be taken out of that immersion.
I'm okay with that. I think it's going to be more fun this way. I don't know. I don't think there's enough first-person RPGs out there, like real RPGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's Fallout. There's Bethesda's kind of got the market on that, really.
Yeah,
right
and that's what I was saying. This is like their Fallout. This is like, because they're going to have their Witcher games, which is their Elder Scrolls, and then this is going to be their Fallout.
Yeah.
And the other thing about it that I thought was pretty cool is like how they explain these like in-game mechanics, like the reason why you have a heads-up display, or like the reason why you can see how many bullets you have left and stuff like that. And it all plays into the world,
augments and stuff.
Yeah, it's not just like, oh, you're in a video game. It's like, oh, it's because of the time you live in and all that stuff.
And it's interesting because like you see scenes where they're walking around and like every person they walk past shows up with a little thing over their head and it talks about them, and that's done with the augments in game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you have to think, can you just have normal eyes? Could you do that? Is that an option? Because that would be kind of interesting if you could just turn it all off, or just choose to try to play through unmodded. I think
would be so cool.
There's going to be a lot of different people tackling this game in different ways because of this. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm excited about. See all the different like mods you can use. Not like video game mods, but like body mods or like whatever biomechanical mods.
Yeah, totally. I think it's gonna be fun to play with some of the weapons too. Did you see that gun that like shoots around corners and stuff? Like,
oh yeah,
that shit looks fun.
The game I think will live up to the hype, in my opinion.
I always like RPG elements in my shooter too. Like I feel like the combat's gonna play a lot like Borderlands. You know what I mean? Like just from the view, like from the little look they gave us.
Oh yeah, I mean,
at least in the respect that like
you
come across leveled enemies and like I don't know, Destiny kind of style. I don't know. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool.
For sure. Pokemon Go adds 6 new shiny Pokemon for trainers to catch in celebration of the mobile game's limited-time Johto Festival event, which increases the spawn rate of all Johto-exclusive Pokemon. The 6 additions are all part of the Gen 2 Pokedex. In a tweet, Pokemon Go revealed both Shiny Natu and Sunkern had been added, while hinting there might be more than just the 2. It's since been revealed that the third shiny edition is Pineco, and that all 3 Pokemon evolve into shiny versions of Xatu, Sunflora, and Forretress.
Pineco. They really got an original with that fucking name, huh?
That was only Gen 2 though.
Pineco.
Yeah, like dude, there's so many fucking Sunkerns everywhere though on the real. Like,
are there really? Have you found a shiny yet?
I haven't found a shiny yet. I have a shiny Swablu.
Oh, cool.
That's all I got.
Dope.
I do need to get a shiny Sun Kern though. But yeah, what you got?
Let's see. Microsoft has introduced a new kind of subscription model that bundles together everything you need to play on Xbox One. The Xbox All Access deal lets you purchase a new Xbox One console along with 2 years of Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass, all under one monthly payment. The Xbox All Access official site lists 2 packages, an Xbox One S starting at $22 per month, or an Xbox One X starting at $35 a month. Both packages include 24 months of Gold and Game Pass, and each payment plan lasts for 24 months with no upfront costs and 0% APR financing.
Ooh, I like that.
I know. I do too. At those prices, you'll end up paying about $530 for an Xbox One S versus the $640 if you were to purchase the console Gold and Game Pass separately. Or the Xbox One X, by comparison, ends up at $840 versus $860 for each item sold separately. Either way, you're getting a pretty good deal.
Yeah, so the savings are nice.
And it's a lot more affordable, especially if you're going the 1X route, you know?
Yes.
Like, I mean, not everybody can just shell out $500 just right out of the box there, you know what I mean? But, like,
yeah,
it's a lot more reasonable to throw 35 at them a week, you know? I mean, a month. Hopefully not a week.
It's very experimental. I'm excited to see how it works out, or, like, how it plays out. Just very strange. Something we're not used to, and I want to see how it affects the gaming industry as a whole. I want to see who jumps on the bandwagon first, or the fact that you have to go to Microsoft stores for it is a little strange to me. But I mean,
do you have to go make payments at the Microsoft store?
No, they have like some online infrastructure set up for it, or like something like that. I remember reading. But basically, you can only do this at Microsoft stores, though. So I want to see what it's going to be like whenever they work something out with GameStop or like other places, so it's easy to go in and do. Because, I mean, GameStop has like mobile services that they do through there.
Especially if I could just run up to GameStop and make the payment in cash, I think that would make everything so simple and you know, affordable to everybody. You know, like kids and stuff could go get their own Xbox. You know what I mean? Like and do it and manage it. You know, like kids with a part-time job. You know.
Yeah, the teenagers.
Like,
but at the same time,
like...
this could affect your credit. You know, so like that's why I think it's a little strange. Is that
could it though?
Of course. I mean, your phone bill affects your credit if you don't pay it. It doesn't help it at all. I mean, you paying it on time doesn't help any, but if you miss a payment, it will hurt your credit, or like if you miss payments. So that's going to play into this as well. I mean, it has to, because they're basically leasing it to you until you pay it off, you know? But I saw someone joke about that, about like, or on the Facebook group. I don't remember who it was. Sorry, guys, but it joked about them coming to repo your Xbox.
Oh, yeah.
That would suck.
But I mean, you know, you think about it. There's places like Rent-A-Center and stuff which are doing the same thing at a much, much more audacious rate. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you don't get the Xbox Live. You don't get the Gold games with Gold. You know, I mean, what's it called?
Oh no,
the Game Pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get the full package with this.
You know, so
life.
I don't know. It's a good deal comparatively to a lot of things. You know.
Word. So, more Pokemon. The Pokemon series is one of the longest-running animated shows on television, spanning more than 1,000 episodes and 20 movies to date. And now you'll be able to relive nearly the entire saga on Twitch. The Pokemon Company is partnering with the streaming service for a massive Pokemon marathon, which has already begun as of August 27th. The stream will air as a series of smaller marathons over the next several months and into 2019, encompassing 932 episodes from 19 seasons of the TV series, beginning with the original Indigo League, as well as 16 Pokemon movies. The Pokemon Marathon will be broadcast on the Twitch Presents channel. According to the official Pokemon website, 10 to 16 Pokemon episodes will air Mondays through Thursdays, with encores of those episodes running on Fridays and Saturdays. A different Pokemon movie will also be broadcast every Sunday. In addition to watching the series, you'll be able to interact with the stream thanks to the Pokemon Badge Collector Twitch extension. Those with a Twitch account will see, quote, catchable Pokemon appear during the broadcast, which they'll be able to click on and add to their collection.
That's fun.
Yeah, the extension will also feature a leaderboard, and the rarer the Pokemon you capture, the more points you'll receive.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know there was 16 Pokemon movies. That's crazy.
20.
20?
20.
They're only playing 16 of them, though?
Yeah, I believe so. No. Hold on. Let me see. As well as 16. Yeah, they're doing 16 Pokemon movies, but it says that there's 20 movies to date.
Holy shit.
Which ones those are, I have no idea.
I feel like I've only seen like 5 of them or something like that. Maybe not even that.
Yeah, I've seen like 3 of them, and then Origins. I think they're counting Origins as well. Maybe. I don't know. That's a lot of movies.
That just doesn't seem right. That's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, so if you guys want to relive your childhood and some of the parts that you didn't watch in your childhood because nobody watched it, go check out Twitch.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Fortnite has added a Porta Rift that you can just kind of like shake up and then you relaunch from the sky. They have added a shockwave grenade, which I tried to find all morning. I couldn't find one, but I'm assuming they're kind of like impulse grenades, but way more intense. I don't know.
It's always good.
Yes. Tomato Town has been replaced by Tomato Temple. You now have the ability to thank the bus driver by pushing down on the D-pad while you're about to jump out.
God.
And there's a giant-ass mysterious cube rolling around the map, doing all kinds of weird, mysterious shit. It's almost like, if you ever watch Transformers, you know the Allspark cube?
Yes.
That's what it looks like, and it's just rolling around with this huge force field around it, like blasting people into the air. I don't know. It's really strange and mysterious.
So mysterious. I'm just gonna have to say it, dude. I'm so tired of hearing about Fortnite. When are they gonna stop? You know, I mean,
they're never gonna stop, bro.
It's so okay. Like this is part of the news. I mean, we're already talking about it. We might as well bring it up. They now have dance classes, official dance classes, where you can send your stupid kids to go and learn stupid Fortnite dances. That's it.
My God.
The entire thing is based around the dancing in Fortnite.
Oh,
and the commercial for it is exactly as bad as you imagine it. It's so ridiculous. It's all these little white kids like going and learning like the I can't even like talk about it. But
that's
it's not, and like I understand they're kids, they're having fun, but what you're doing is you're destroying an entire industry with your stupidness. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. It's not. It's just I'm just a hater. But like, am I wrong? Is this not too much? Have we taken this too far?
Man,
that would be like when we were kids. If like they made an entire class on how to, I'm trying to think of, we didn't have stupid stuff.
I don't know, man. We went to those Pokemon card tournaments and like earned badges and shit. You know what I mean?
We weren't learning to dance though.
True.
Okay, like
well, I mean, dancing might be a more practical skill than playing Pokemon cards.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's ridiculous.
There's so much applicable skills to learn in Pokemon. Like strategy, you know, or critical thinking.
Okay, fair enough.
Learning how to flip a coin and shuffle some cards, you know. But like with the dancing, the dancing is just a trend. That not dancing in general, but the dancing that they're learning. I could understand if they were going to learn some like.
I was going to say maybe this will get them into like actual dancing though. You know, maybe this class will like persuade them to take up like dancing classes, and it won't be in vain. You know,
maybe so.
Maybe they'll like enjoy the choreography and find that this is their calling or something.
This is their passion.
Yeah.
And then later, whenever he like receives this amazing like an award that's.
I just want to thank Fortnite.
Yeah, it's like
and my dad for sending me to Fortnite dance class.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
Like I said,
that's ridiculous. You won't never catch me sending my fucking kids to Fortnite dance class.
I feel like, okay.
They want to go to Fortnite dance class, they can stand in front of the goddamn TV and learn how to dance by playing Fortnite. You know what I mean?
Get on YouTube. Some suburban mom is making bank off of your stupid kids because like she probably got her daughter to learn. Like,
yeah, she probably taught her one of the dances and she's like, you know what? I should
teach
all the kids.
Yeah, right after yoga. You know, like I feel
she's probably making fucking bank too. That's what's sad. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I'm saying, dude. It's a scam. And guess what? You guys are gonna pay for that. Your kids are gonna learn like half of that dance, half of one dance, and then she's gonna shut down the doors because she got all that money off of y'all. I'm just saying, because Fortnite's dancing is going to be a trend that's in and out. Just like
fuck that. She could keep that class going forever if she just brought them all in, because they're probably all little ass kids, you know.
Yeah.
And she just teaches them like one dance to the point where they master it a day. You know, she could go through the whole list of like dances. There's a fuckload.
There is a bunch of them, but the problem is how long will kids be, just enjoying Fortnite dances?
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's why I think after the first few classes, you're going to get the kids that actually like dancing for the sake of dancing,
and then they move on to something.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Do you think she can actually? I feel like the dance instructor is like, oh, it's just fun for the kids.
Well, I bet what it is she's probably like already a dance instructor, and she's probably already teaching classes, and she's like, oh, I could just open up another class. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just hate her for having a better idea than me. She's like
Dude, you work at a gym. Maybe we could open a fucking Fortnite dance. Oh, Fortnite fitness, bro.
Dude. How would that work though? Or maybe like
aerobics, dude. You just get like, you know how like you have like the spin classes where you have an instructor at the front of the class? You just play the fucking Fortnite song. You know, the one
that's like, it. So the only part of the whole workout that has anything to do with it is the music. I feel like we train people if they were ever in a battle royale situation. So like all of our training,
you need to teach them how to dance too. Yeah,
that too. But it's like sport specific. So it's like, okay, this is what you're doing.
Sport specific.
Yeah, we're gonna.
So like Fortnite would be that sport.
Yeah.
Like,
so we're gonna have like
royale.
Conditioning coaches there specifically for like sprinting and like like getting your speed up, getting your power up. And then like
you could even have like a table with Nerf guns and like have targets set up all over the gym and have them like run through like some kind of like obstacle course you have set up. That would be cool. Oh, and building. You could have like mats and you could have them stack the mats and climb up the mat real quick. You know what I mean? You could make a really practical fitness like
workout
routine
based
around
that.
You really could.
I was thinking
somebody's gonna steal this idea. Somebody's gonna hear this.
Somebody can steal this idea from me. This is a real thing that I was like trying to plot out and work out, literally, but like a whole workout system or training system based on like RPG mechanics. So like you put points into whatever it is that you're trying to do. So like at the beginning, it's like, okay, you pick 3 characters. You have like the archer who's like kind of skinny, he's like lean, strong. He's like the Spider-Man build. And then you got like your middle where you have like the dude from The Witcher. And then like you go third, which is like you're going to have like your bruiser, like barbarian type build. And then like you put points into things that you want. And then go, depending on
How
that.
do you like earn points?
No. So like you pick the points. So like I want more power. I care less about aesthetics and more about strength and power or like whatever. And then the trainer takes those points and is like, you should be going towards this workout, towards this branch.
Like, okay.
And then like, and you have these preset like things, and then you just personalize them for each person. Anyways, so if anybody out there wants that, you should totally do it. I feel like nobody's done like a nerd personal training program.
I feel like in order to pull that off, you would need a whole like nerd themed gym.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think that would be dope. Like a gym for nerds where like all the treadmills have like little games built into them, where like when you're running, you see like a road in front of you and you like push buttons. I don't know.
Oh, have like actual like equipment made for it.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That would be cool.
That would be insane.
Like you save whenever you get done, and then every time you come back,
so you have like a little card, and it's like your key to the door, but you also stick it in the machines when you go into the machines. You know what I mean?
And it could be
like,
something
saves your
that
progress.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be like intricate either.
No, that's what I was saying. It could be something as simple as like grinding in an RPG, like or like a JRPG, like whenever you're running.
Then you could really make your RPG thing come to life, because you could actually have like people leveling up their characters and shit, and like when they plug their card in, their little avatar could go into the games and shit. That would be cool.
And it like tracks progress. So like say like for the running or for jogging, you have like a creature in front of you, and like the further you get, like the lower the HP goes down, or say like if you add a sprint in there, it does like a special attack which lowers the HP even more.
Oh yeah. If you really had money to blow to build this, you could do like a VR thing where you have like a VR headset on, you're running on, well, that might not be safe to run on a treadmill on a VR headset. It may be really fat treadmills. So no, I don't know. Maybe like a
you could
stepper.
Save that for something else though.
I'm just thinking I
want
want some kind of game where I'm running from a boulder. Like Temple Run, but like I'm actually running. You know what I mean?
With the VR, you could get away from the running and do, say, like you put on like a weight vest and you do like a squat, basically like not mobility, but functional movement type game where you have to, say, dodge blocks that are coming at you, but you have to do
like a boxing game or something.
Yeah, so you got to do like a squat. Or like you have to like lunge to the back, or like do different things to like fit into those spaces. I don't know. I feel like we just created the ultimate gym, but we don't have money for that.
Dude, that would be so popular. I feel like if you had a reasonable monthly fee for membership, you know what I mean? Like,
and I mean, even if it wasn't reasonable, you could charge a higher price and have less members.
Yeah.
Instead of charging, normal and then having a bunch of members.
Yeah, totally.
So, because I feel like it's a very niche thing, but like the people that would come would love it,
Totally.
So
you could really, really make that place awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. Anyways, let's get back to what we were talking about. Business plans with Brent and Jamal. So this is do you have, or here we go.
It's kind of a light week for me. I'm out of news on my end.
Okay, that's fine. I just have a little bit more.
Yeah, lay it on me. Lay it on thick.
So, in an interview with Engadget, Cyberpunk 2077 producer Richard Borzamowski said the game still doesn't have all of its assets, and the fixes for the bugs that were discovered in playtesting haven't been implemented yet. However, you can play through the entire game and see the story unfold, which Borzamowski says is important for finishing the game's development. He said it gives you the answers to all of your doubts. It just feels great. So that's good to know that
he's
the whole
probably
game
just hyped. He's probably like feels good about having a finished product.
Yeah,
I mean not finished, but
basically
like,
finished.
Yeah.
So also. During Microsoft's Inside Xbox live stream at Gamescom 2018, Bethesda's VP of Marketing Pete Hines revealed the upcoming Xbox One X console bundle for Fallout 76. Releasing November 14th along Fallout 76 and priced at $499. The bundle will come packed with a 1TB Xbox One X, a copy of Fallout 76, one wireless controller, and one free month for both Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. So that's cool. And then
Is it like is it got like a cool design on it or something?
no, it's just a bundle.
Oh.
It's just a dumb bundle.
I was about to say that'd be sweet to have like a Xbox One X that's like
Fallout 76.
Fallout 76 themed.
That would be so dope.
So it got like a little vault like symbol where the power button is or something. That would be tight.
And last but definitely not least, there was an active shooting this past weekend. An active shooter attacked at the Madden NFL 19 tournament in Jacksonville, Florida at Chicago Pizza. So the names of the two victims that were had their lives taken by this other gamer. So
that's why this is relevant, in case
yes.
you're wondering why we're sitting here talking about shootings and stuff.
Yeah, so
this is all like a video game tournament where this happened.
Yeah, the Madden NFL 19 tournament. So the names of the victims were 24-year-old Taylor Spot Me Please Robertson of Ballard, West Virginia, and 21-year-old Elijah Trueboy Clayton of Woodland Hills, California. So these guys in the I don't know if you've seen the clip.
No, I haven't.
So it was being live streamed. So and I think it's just utter coincidence that the clip cuts away right as it happens, but right before, so like you see Trueboy and you see Robertson sitting there playing. I believe it's Robertson in the clip, but I know for a fact Trueboy's in it.
Those are the ones that got shot?
Yes, or killed. 11 people were hit.
Dang.
But only him, or only these two guys and the shooter himself died in the attack.
So, did the shooter kill himself?
He did. He killed himself.
Okay.
So his name is David Katz, and he was also in the tournament but had lost. And today police were saying that he was actually targeting the other gamers. He wasn't just going on an all-out spree. They said because he had the gun with him and he walked through plenty of people to get to them.
Sure.
So
that makes more sense. I mean, I feel like it fits the narrative better.
Yeah.
That way anyways.
Well, yeah, I think he was just a sore loser and a fucking asshole who probably had some mental problems and didn't know how to handle it. So, but so he goes after these two guys. In the clip, in the live stream, I don't know if it's still up on the internet, but you see Trueboy, he's sitting there in a red hoodie, and you see a laser dot appear on his chest, and it starts moving around, and then it cuts to a clip of the game, and you hear the shots ring out. And then people screaming and like people asking like, what do you shoot me with? What do you shoot me with or whatever? Like it was very it's terrifying. But it's real, and this is a thing that I think people need to realize that like I think it's I don't know what it is. I don't know, and I don't think anybody really does why this happens. But in this particular case, I feel like it had a lot to do with entitlement. The fact
absolutely. I was just gonna say the kid is entitled. He thinks, I deserve to win, and because I didn't win, you have to die. I don't know.
Which is it's like,
I mean, I think he was probably humiliated from the loss more than
exactly.
anything, and in his weird fucked up brain, he thought,
and it's their fault, not his.
Like the shame was too great or some shit. Like I don't know.
And I see this a lot online, not necessarily just in video games, but in general, where people feel that they're more important than everything else and everyone else, and everything has to do with them, and so like I really wish that we could get away from that.
I do see it a lot in video games though.
Yeah,
I see one thing about me personally is like I've never been one of those guys. I mean, sure, I'll get like a little upset if I lose and I was doing really good, but I've never been one of those guys that like
cuss you out, like if
throws his goddamn controller out the window and like fucking just is pissed off for 2 hours because I lost a fucking game. Like it's never been me, like like even when I was like really competitive with swimming and stuff, like that kind of thing, I would get upset for a little bit, but it would never be like to that extent. I don't know. I feel like
as gamers, to protect our industry and our gaming in general, because whenever things like this happen, people tend to blame the video games themselves.
Sure.
You know, so like,
which is hard to do in this situation, though. I mean, really.
You could say that. You could say that. But the moment I went on Twitter after the shooting, very big name people were automatically blaming video games.
Well, it's because the media says video game tournament. You automatically, your mind goes to some kind of violent video game.
But see, the narrative was twisted. So everybody's saying, oh, well, it's Madden, so they can't blame the video game. But what everyone was actually saying was that video games encourage people to get angry because of loss and stuff like that. It's saying it provokes
no more than any other competitive sport.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, Ronda Rousey didn't go fucking shoot up all the UFC after Holly Holm kicked her in the fucking head and knocked her out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, you can't get upset like that whenever you lose. Like, people need to learn the value of sportsmanship. I feel like that's a big problem with you know, this upcoming generation. You know what I mean?
Not being a sore loser.
Exactly. You know?
It's like there's always a next time. One, and two, it's like that's how you get better. You fail. You fail and get better.
And not to mention, rivalries can push you to be a better player and person. You don't have to, like, I don't know, go shoot your rival. Like, that's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like,
with things like swatting and all this stuff getting more and more popular.
Oh, absolutely. That shit is ridiculous, too. That's fucking right in the same vein of, like, evilness, I think so too. If you ask me.
Because
like,
you're risking somebody getting murdered.
Absolutely.
By the police.
Absolutely. And you know what you're doing. It's not like, you know
this
is
a chance.
Fun. You know, like, we've all seen fucking swatting videos online and shit. That's not cute. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And I think what I wanted to get at with this is that, like, as a gaming community, people need to stop. Like, we need to get better about that and not encourage things like that, because I've also seen where people go on videos like that and they comment like, ha ha ha, you know, like, this is funny. And it just encourages the person that did it, and, you know, or like bullying online and stuff like that. It's like, dude, just like, it's video games. Like, people literally died because of Madden. Like, think
what the
about
fuck?
that.
Like,
how does that? It's like he woke up. He's like, oh, I'm gonna go play Madden NFL, and gets shot to death.
That also has to speak a little bit to, like, how sad that person's life is, though. That like, you're willing to fucking kill yourself over Madden. You know what I mean? Like, kill somebody else and then kill yourself over a game of Madden. Like, how little is your life worth at that point? You know, like, what like, I don't know. It just boggles my mind.
It really
does.
I
mean, like, I would never, like, it's hard to, like, even try to get inside of their head, because, like, you know, in a situation like this, and in most situations, I feel like I try to, like, look and see things from their perspective and just see if I can make sense of it, you know?
And it just doesn't work.
It's so hard to, like, get in that mindset, because it's, you know, it's just so foreign to me, you know? I don't know.
I agree. Like, even as, like, a former emo kid, like, I listen to depressing music all the time and stuff like that. I've never had a thought of hurting another person because of it. You know, like that. It's like it takes a whole nother level of just selfishness and evil.
I think at some point in almost everybody's life, we get bested by somebody who is just better than us at something. You know, just flat out, no way you realize it. There's just that crushing moment when you realize there's no way, no matter if I train for 10 more years, I'll never be as good as that guy. You know what I mean? And I think that a lot of, like, I don't know. I feel like that's a defining moment that most people need to experience. You know what I mean? And if you don't experience that and it comes too late in life, you know what I mean? It hurts. You can't handle shit as well, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, just, I mean, like, I feel like just, like, I wish there was a lesson to take out of this, but at this point, there's really no lesson other than, like, be
Stop
good to people.
Fucking shooting people?
Yeah, like, seriously, if you have an issue with, like, losing, try and take steps to get to everybody loses. Everybody. It doesn't matter how good you are at something, you will always find somebody who can beat you. That's just how it goes, you know? It's whatever. But anyways, ending the news on a sad
I think
note.
Also, before we wrap this up, I think that this is going to affect all future events like this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This is going to be handled a lot more like, sporting events now. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be fucking security everywhere from now on.
Maybe that's the thing. Is
you don't think, like, next Dota tournament and shit, dude, it's going to be stupid, dude. It's going to be like 9/11 airports, bro. Like, fucking.
So maybe places, maybe with Dota and, like, these bigger tournaments in esports and stuff, but these smaller tournaments, you're not going to be able to have. They don't have the money to provide security for this stuff. It's in a it was in a pizza store.
But it was also funded by
the mall.
Madden, EA.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm not talking about your local, Smash Bros tournament. I'm talking about, like, if EA is funding and hosting this event, you know what I mean? They're going to have security there from now on, specifically EA. But I mean, other big name game companies are going to follow suit. I mean,
they're going to have to, because a lot of the survivors at the shooting, automatically took to Twitter after they got out and were like, I'm never going to go to an event in, some people were making this political, and a lot of them were saying, like, I'm never going to an event in America again, or like, I'm never going to an event where if there's not security and stuff like that. So, and
that's
these are people that
were they not American?
Some of them weren't, or like some of the people that in the gaming industry.
Honestly, if you see all this, think about it from like a Japanese standpoint or something. If you're some freaking, foreigner and you see all this shit in the news, and then you come over here for a tournament, the first thing that happens to you is you're involved in a fucking mass shooting. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have a bad taste in your mouth. I mean, like,
of course,
no way around it. You can tell them all you want, like, hey, that kind of shit doesn't happen every day around here. It's not like it's not like you have to worry about that, really. But, like, I guess you can't really say that to them because they did have to worry about it. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, that's why I want to have at least some takeaway, and that takeaway is just be the best person you can be. At least to other people. And it sucks to say that because it's like saying, like, oh, forget about yourself, but it's the truth, man. Like, nobody puts you where you're at. Nobody has done that but you, and whether that's good or bad. So just accept it and fix it. Whatever you're not liking, fix it. Or take the time to go be alone and, like, think about it before you just blast away because you're in the heat of the moment or something, But anyways, we'll probably end up talking more about that. But
yeah, I'm sure it'll come back up.
Yeah. So let's move on to this week's releases. We're going to start it out with Divinity Original Sin 2. What? Playing into our episode here. We got some Original Sin. We got PS4, Xbox One, and PC on August 31st for $59.99.
It's been out.
Well, I think it's coming to console is what the deal is. I'm not really sure.
It must be coming to PC. I feel like it's been out on PlayStation. At least. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like
maybe it was just Original Sin.
Are you sure it's not coming to Switch or something like that?
It's not coming to Switch. No. All I'm seeing is PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
Weird.
It's all right. We can keep, like, talking about this for a second because I know we're playing the clip right now, but I've never played it. But I think you're right because I think even your sister mentioned it before on Facebook as
that's why I know about this game because it's like my sister's favorite game. The first one specifically, my sister got me for Christmas one year. It's a fun game, but I thought the sequel had come out. I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Okay, so then
it's coming to one of those though, so there you go.
We got Dragon Quest 11 coming, or Dragon
11?
Yeah, it's called Echoes of an Elusive Age.
Oh, jeez,
it's such a long name. That's coming to PS4, 3DS, Switch, and PC on September 4th for $59.99. Then it says, set out for adventure in Dragon Quest XI, the 11th mainline game in the venerable Japanese RPG saga. Well, I mean, I kind of imagine that's what it was.
That's all they said about
That's
it?
all they said.
Well, there you go,
They
guys.
know that title sells, I guess. And then we got 428 Shibuya Scramble coming to PS4 and PC on September 4th for $49.99.
Shibuya.
Yeah, Shibuya. Set in modern Tokyo, 428 tells the story of a mysterious event that occurs in the city's bustling Shibuya region, revolving around the lives of 5 protagonists who get dragged into a kidnapping case. You must make choices of each character that will undoubtedly alter the story for another, all within a 10-hour period. This creates the possibility of up to 50 different endings. That's
Shabooty.
Yeah, this looks like that one game. It's like live action.
50 different endings. That's pretty cool. Oh, like that one I was talking about, that Late Shift game?
Yeah, Late Shift. It's like that. But
okay. Is it made by the same people?
I have no idea. It's definitely very Asian.
Late Shift was very mediocre.
That's what I've heard.
But,
they got it on Games Pass. So, Destiny 2 Expansion 3 Forsaken is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on September 4th for $39.99, unless you got like the season pass. Destiny 2 Forsaken is the third major expansion for the hit shooter sequel. The hunt is on. Take justice into your own hands as you venture into a new frontier filled with enemies, allies, untold mysteries, and treasures waiting to be uncovered. Seek out and take down 8 barons who've escaped the prison of elders. Your pursuit of these fugitives will take you to uncharted regions and ultimately reveal long-lost awoken secrets. The most lawless frontier in all the reef, the Tangled Shore, is a dangerous web of asteroids lashed together. Its isolated location, far from Vanguard and awoken authorities, make it an ideal home for pirates and outlaws seeking maroon treasure.
Cool.
And then we got the Video Kid 80s edition coming to Switch and Xbox One on August 31st for $4.99. It's the 1980s. The kid needed to earn some cash to take his girlfriend out, so by delivering pirate videotapes to his customers and staying one step in front of the cops, he quickly became the Video Kid. Running the gauntlet of his bogusly dangerous delivery route, the Video Kid must survive against all the odds to reach his beloved Jessica. Is today the day he'll finally reach her in time? The Video Kid pays homage to the 1980s and the classic video games of that era, harking back to a simpler time of pure gameplay. Take control of the Video Kid as he hurls videos through the mailboxes or windows of his customers to earn cash. It's basically what's that game called? Where you're the mail Paperboy. I have that game. I wanted to say Mail Boy.
Mail Boy.
Mail Boy. No, but it's literally Paperboy, but pixelated. Then we got Haunted Dungeons coming to Haunted Dungeons Hayaki Castle coming to Switch on August 30th for $13.99. Haunted Dungeons Hayaki Castle aims to deliver a fast-paced, challenging, mysterious, and suspenseful single-player role-playing experience utilizing smart tactics and quick thinking to defeat enemies in real time. Set during the Edo period of Japan, Haunted Dungeons Hayaki Castle is based on the eerie and terrifying Hayaki Island, a place where prisoners are sent to live in exile. A mysterious castle suddenly appears on the island, bringing a slew of creepy monsters, such as the yokai of ancient Japanese literature. Okay. And then we got Splash Blast Panic coming to Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Switch on August 28th for $14.99. Splash Blast Panic is a multiplayer party fighting game where you dash, fly, and shoot your opponents with water pistol, mixing precision flight controls and a vast array of items and power-ups. Ruin all your friendships in a variety of stage which may or may not have various level of gimmicks that could backhand you if you're not careful, or tell that person you always despised your true feelings with water bomb launchers, bubble prisons, water gun sentries, reflective shields, and more. Somebody who wrote that is definitely, English is not their first language. I get what you're saying there, though. And then we got Pato Box coming to PS4, Vita, and PC on August 28th for around $10. The adventure fighting game Pato Box is a surreal boxing quest with a duck. Test your reflexes as you fight your way through an evil corporation in search for retribution. Uncover their deepest secrets by exploring thrilling 3D environments with a graphic novel comic book art style.
Did you say with a duck?
You are a duck.
Oh.
So
the duck is boxing?
Yeah, it's a
Does
very
he have little
weird trailer.
boxing gloves on his little wings?
No. Okay, imagine it's all black and white. Imagine like black and white hand drawn looking stuff like a graphic novel from behind the shoulder, and you're like this almost like man-sized duck, like
and he's boxing. He's got boxing gloves.
Imagine some punch out happening.
Is he wearing boxing gloves?
I can't remember.
Damn it, Jamal! And are they on his wings?
Well, the peak of Pato Box's career is at hand. But he was betrayed on the way to the top by the same company you've worked for all these years.
Oh, I've got to play this.
Deathflock.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. And then we got...
Sounds great, dude.
It really does. Azure Reflections, coming to PS4 and Switch on August 30th for $24.99. Embrace chaos in the high-intensity levels of Azure Reflections, a vibrant side-scrolling bullet hell shooter. Pick one of 3 adorable characters equipped with spell cards, barriers, and fashionable stat-boosting outfits, then take on the onslaught of enemies. Dominate levels, and relentlessly attack enemies with a variety of skills and upgrades. All 3 playable characters, Raimu, Marisa, and Cerno, have heavy-hitting spell cards, bullet-absorbing barriers, and a powerful body slam. Work towards the high score by blitzing down hordes of enemies and showing off just what the girls are capable of in competitive online leaderboards. Then we got Claws of Furry. I think it's Furry. Claws of Furry coming to Switch, Xbox One, PC, and PS4 on September 4th, and I couldn't find a price for this one. Fight like cats and dogs in Claws of Furry, the roguelike co-op action game with 50 levels of catastrophic mayhem.
Catastrophic.
Oh, yeah. Players will punch and scratch their way through enemies to rescue their master from the evil claws of an unknown boss. Claws of Furry creates a seamless blend of fast-paced action with classic arcade beat-em-up carnage. Made up of 4 distinct environments with unique enemies, the challenge is always evolving. And then we got... Battle Chef Brigade, coming to PS4 and Switch on August 28th for $19.99. Play as Mina, as she vies for a place in the Battle Chef Brigade, a unit of elite hunters promising to protect the lands and feed the people. Members of the Battle Chef Brigade gained renown for using their fighting skills to create the wildest dishes the people had ever tasted. Now you might become the best of them all. Slay and cook monsters with Miba's magic and knife skills, but beware, you're not alone in the kitchen arena. Other aspiring chefs will also be fighting to win the hearts and stomachs of the judges.
That sounds so fucking weird.
It sounds so anime, dude.
I have no idea,
It just sounds like an anime.
It
would be something that's like, I gotta be the best chef there ever was.
But first I have to kill all the monsters.
We got Planet Alpha coming to Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC on September 4th for $19.99. Planet Alpha is an adventure that takes place in a living alien world where you have the ability to control the day and night. It combines fast platforming, puzzles, and stealth elements with a unique art style to create an unforgettable experience. And that's it for this week's releases.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry I yawned 400 times during that. If you go back and watch this video, it's my mouth is going to be open pretty much the whole time, just one consistent yawn through that whole thing.
That's all right. We'll just put the clips of the trailers over your face.
That would be fucking hilarious.
Every time you yawn, it just slowly moves over. Yeah, so let's go to Games with Gold. So the new Games with Gold for September, starting on September 1st, is Prison Architect. And that'll be available through the 30th.
You get to build you a prison? That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like that one game, Escape or whatever. Escapist, yeah.
But that one you're escaping from an already built prison.
So this one, you build one and then you escape it.
Do you get to escape it? That'd be kind of fun.
I don't know. I made that part up. So then we got Live Lock coming September 16th through October 15th. And then you can still grab For Honor up until September 15th. And then for the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, you can get Lego Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, from September 1st through the 15th, and Sega Vintage Collection Monster World from September 16th through the 30th, which is... all of that sounds terrible.
Yeah, pretty bad month for that. Hopefully PlayStation's doing a little better.
But... I mean, you have to think, though, because for Games Pass on September 1st, you can get the entire Master Chief Collection. So I think that's why.
Yeah, and right now, I think there's a deal going on where you can pay $2 and get, I think, a month of Game Pass and a month of Xbox Live. In the same little $2 bundle.
I like that.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
Make me holla, honey boo-boo.
I like that they're kind of trying to seam the two together, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just make it one subscription. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. Let's see. Are we going into currently playing?
Yeah, I didn't know if you had the PlayStation.
No, we don't
games.
have the PlayStation ones yet.
Not yet.
They're a little late on the uptake there.
Sony. And then we're gonna go into currently playing. You want to start us off? You want to take us in
sure,
there?
yeah. I've been. It's been a great week for games for me.
I like that.
I have been playing the shit out of some games, dude.
What you been playing, Captain?
Well, first of all, I finally got around to playing that Arizona Sunshine Dead Man DLC. It only cost me $2.50, and it only lasted about 2 hours.
That's a lot for a VR game, though, right?
A lot, yeah, and it's a lot for $2.50. I mean, for $2.50, is a lot of content. I mean, so it was fun, and it's totally playable in co-op. But there's just a lot of other VR stuff I'm really excited about right now. So, I had a good time with it, but I probably won't play it again unless somebody wants to jump in on co-op. You know what I mean? Let's see. I've also been playing. I went ahead and played all of Life is Strange Before the Storm, the deluxe edition. It was good. It was real good. You got to get the deluxe edition. I got it on sale for $9.99. You know what I mean? So wait for a sale because it'll definitely go back on sale. I've seen it on sale several times.
Does it get less cringy the further you get into it?
It's a little cringy. I mean, that's all Life is Strange games. That whole universe is kind of cringy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But once you accept the cringiness, it's like watching Full House or something. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't say that.
You just gotta accept the cringiness. You know what I mean?
It's like accepting the mind of which I mean, obviously it's what they're trying to do, which is what I like about it. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying the cringe. Think of a 13-year-old. Just think about what you thought about when you were 13 years old. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
They do that a lot in this game too, because they go. It's further back in time than the original.
Oh, really? So
game. It's like a prequel. So as a matter of fact, I would actually recommend playing this game before you play the original Life is Strange.
So are you like a preteen?
You are. Let's see. You're a teen. You're probably 16.
Oh no.
15 or 16.
Why do they act like they're 13 then?
Because I mean, it depends on what part. If you play the last chapter, they're 12, I think.
Okay,
or
that
something
makes
like
more
that.
sense.
You know what I mean? But okay. Also, you got to keep in mind that the character you play as in the first game is Max Caulfield, who is inherently innocent about everything. You know what I mean? And in that respect, she kind of sees the world as innocent, you know what I mean? Whereas during Before the Storm, you're playing as Chloe, who is kind of inherently an asshole. So she just kind of sees the world as an asshole. So a lot of the cringiness comes less from the mushy side of things.
More from the trying to be cool and hardcore.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
So yeah, that's dope, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. You get it. But at the same time, the story gets real deep, real sad. It's a lot. Mellow. It's a lot for three chapter story. I'm amazed that they fit so much of a meaty story in 3 chapters, because I've played other 3 chapter games like the Walking Dead Michonne Telltale game, which was horrible, and that's just because they didn't have enough time to flesh out a full story. You know what I mean? But this worked, and it worked well, and it kind of got me excited about Life is Strange 2, even though I have recently become aware that Life is Strange 2 is going to be a totally different story. There's going to be I think it's going to be about 2 brothers or some shit like that, which is cool, I guess, but I really wanted to continue the story of Max, you know what I mean? So I hope she resurfaces there somewhere. But then I finished that, and when I bought that game, I was on the Totally Digital or Attack of the Blockbuster sale or whatever, and I bought that game for $9.99, and then I got Horizon Zero Dawn Deluxe Edition for $11.99 with all the DLC and shit. And I started playing that, and damn, dude, it's really fun. It's a lot more fun than I thought I was going to have with it, because, usually, I don't know, that kind of thing.
People hype it up.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. I figured it was good, but, I didn't realize it was, a straight-up, RPG. You know what I mean? I thought it was more like God of War 2018. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Where
I thought that too.
Don't get me wrong, God of War 2018 was a excellent game, probably one of the better games that's ever been made. You know what I mean? Like, this game, I just was kind of expecting it to follow that format, whereas it's more like
Zelda.
It feels like The Witcher. Like, real talk, the whole game feels like The Witcher with a different skin on it. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool.
And it's got like elements from like Hitman and like Tomb Raider, like stealth elements, you know what I mean? But the combat has like elements from like Monster Hunter and stuff, where you're fighting these big ass robots that are like with like a bow and arrow, you know? So you got to be creative and like shoot them in their weak points and like set up tripwires and have them like run into the tripwire. And that's the most satisfying thing ever, when you like set up a tripwire between like a tree and a rock and you like have it chasing you and you like slide under your tripwire and you like turn around and look behind you in slow motion and you see the fucking thing like tripping over the wire and like blowing up and like crumble into the ground. It's just so fucking satisfying and beautiful. Like, it's probably the best $11 I've ever spent. Like,
yeah, $11 for that. That's pretty crazy. That was like Game of the Year.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. Well, it wasn't.
It was
Game
nominated
of the Year.
for a bunch of Game of the Year, but it was really. So far, it's amazing. So far, there's a lot of. It's one of those games where like I'll be doing a side quest and I'll see like 30 other side quests on my mini map and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So you get so sidetracked, but it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it, especially again if you can get it on sale. But even if you can't get it on sale, I think the standard price for it right now is like $20, which is absolutely worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I would have paid $60 for this if I had known how good it was whenever it first came out, you know? So, yeah. You can probably expect me to be talking about that for the next episode or two because it's one of those games that I can already tell is going to take a long time to beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's like a 50-hour long game or something
like that. And I don't think that's including the Frozen Wild expansion, which I have. But I also recently, like today, I haven't started playing this, but I was, that what's that game called? The Rainbow Six in VR, basically.
Oh, Fortnite.
No.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Something 0 hour. Firewall 0 hour.
Yeah, Firewall.
Okay.
That's the dumbest name.
Stupid name, but everybody online today has been freaking out about it. Like, everybody's like, oh my god, this is the dopest VR game.
So you got it? Or you haven't played it?
I haven't played it, and when everybody's freaking out about something in VR, I gotta try it, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I on the way up here, I went and got a physical copy of it from GameStop. So I'll have a little more feedback for you on that next week. But apparently, I should be charging my aim controller right now because it's pretty live. Oh, and just so you guys know, if you are a VR user and you listen to our podcast, I have a fun tip for you that I learned today. If you have a problem like me and your controllers just die on you randomly, especially your aim controller, get one of those little battery packs, like you charge your phone with. You can hook your phone into it while you're on the go, and you can just run a cord into your pocket and like have it charging on your hip, which is pretty cool.
That's
the life hacks right there.
The nerdiest thing in the world.
But it's basically like, you can charge it and still play at the same time, which is pretty cool.
You got a magazine you can just clip in there. Anyways, so is that all you've been playing?
That's all I've been playing.
All right.
But I've been playing like a mofo.
So I've been playing 2 games, 2 pretty deep games. I feel one way deeper than the other. But
lay it on me.
So I started with Soma, which
Soma. I wanted to try that. How's that going for you?
Soma.
These are the same people that made Observer, right?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I think these are the guys that... No, actually, I don't even know what they've worked on. All I know is that this game is basically like a BioShock, but like...
Can you fight?
No.
So it's like a more like an Outlast in space kind of thing?
Not in space.
Not in space.
No.
I'm thinking of Observer.
No, this is
I don't know why I get them mixed up. I don't know.
It basically, you're in a place where, like, it starts out and you have brain damage. Like, you got into a car wreck or something you've got some brain damage. So you go to this weird
that happens. Yeah.
meeting. Yeah, definitely, all the time. Well, I mean, for car wrecks, but you don't just wake up with brain damage. But so go get that checked. But no, like, so he goes to this. You go to the doctor. It's all first person, very story focused at the beginning. And you know, you're reading things. It's just like Gone Home. Like, you're just reading shit, like picking stuff up and looking at it. But it has a more Half-Life feel to it. And then you end up meeting this doctor. He puts you in this machine, and then he turns it on, and suddenly it all goes black, and you come out of the machine, and he's not there anymore, and you're in this other room. And it's very BioShock looking, but at the same time has like a Half-Life look as well.
Is there monsters and stuff?
Not monsters, so it's kind of spoilery, but like
it's okay. I'm curious.
You go to this place where there's like machines, like you're underwater, like at an underwater facility that's ran by this corporation, like worldwide corporation, but you don't really know how you got there, and it looks like the place has been destroyed. So you're like sneaking through. There's like these giant robots walking around. They're like psychotic robots or AI that were created, but at the same time, like you run into random like robots that are like laying there, and they're like still somewhat alive, but they are the people that were there before. So like, or they think they're the people that were there. So like you go by this one robot, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the corporal. Can you get me? Can you talk to what's her name?" And like
it's one of the robots.
Yeah, and you can like talk to him. He's like kind of, his legs are missing, so he's like sitting there, and like these robot repair robots are like working. And he's like, "Why do you keep touching me? Like, stop," or whatever. And so like, and you're like, "What do you mean? Like, you're the corporal?" Or he's like, "Can you not see me?" He's like, "I'm sitting right here, man." It's like, and he's like pointing at himself, and like he's like, "I don't know how to tell you this, but you're a robot." And he's like, "What do you mean I'm a robot?" He's like, "Look at me." And he's like looking at his hands. He's like, "I see my flesh right here."
Do you have like dialogue options, or does it?
No, it just does it itself. So like, but you can keep choosing to talk to the person or just keep going. But anyways, so like, there's all these little things you got to do, and like solve puzzles and get out of certain areas, and also discover where the hell you're at and what it has to do with anything, because you end up contacting somebody on a communications network, and blah blah blah. They tell you what to do. It's so BioShock.
It sounds like it'd be a dope VR game.
Definitely, it'd be way better VR, but it actually was pretty scary because I don't know what's going on, and like the giant robot was terrifying. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why. It's a very dark, dim lit game, a lot like Alien. So like you get that same feeling, but
Alien was scary, man.
But then I started playing Mass Effect, and I kind of got away from Soma. I'm gonna go back to it later, but I want to play Mass Effect first.
Mass Effect will draw your whole attention. Once it gets your attention, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm about 6 hours in now.
Oh yeah. What do you think? Are you starting to?
I'm liking
getting into it.
Yeah, I'm like listening to every codex entry.
Once you start like learning the lore and stuff, it gets kind of addictive. Like especially like I find myself gravitating towards certain like races of aliens. You know what I mean? Like there's one race called the Elcor, which is kind of weird. They're like these big elephant-looking things, and like they're fucking weird as fuck, and they don't appear very often in the game, but they're like super interesting to me for some reason, you know? There's all kinds of little things like that in the game that are like...
Yeah, I like how they all have their own dialect and stuff like that.
Oh, totally. So, yeah.
Like the one alien that will like say its emotion it sets the tone for what it's about to say.
yeah. This was it the Solarians that do that?
I can't remember. Like it's like the big bulky guy.
Oh yeah. No, that's the one I was talking about. That's the Elcor.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it'll be like
happy.
Yeah, happy. You know, or it'll be like mistrust.
Oh yeah.
You know, like it's like okay. But I like all of that. It kind of makes the world feel alive, and also I'm starting to feel the KOTOR in it, like just the moving around. I just got off of the Citadel, and I'm in.
Do you have your ship and stuff yet?
Pharos, yeah. So, well, the Normandy, right?
Yeah.
I've got it. So, Yeah.
That you can tell that the Normandy was influenced a lot by like the Ebon Hawk.
Of course.
You
dude.
know what I mean?
That's what. As soon as I got on the show, I was like, okay.
It's like okay.
And then, so right now, like I just got all their power and water and all that stuff up and running. And
Dylan's gonna be thrilled that you're playing this.
I'm obviously like I can't be a bad guy. Like it just
it's hard.
It's really hard,
especially because in Mass Effect, particularly, some of the decisions, it's like you're
just
either
an
swinging
asshole.
so far left or so far right. There's no in between. Like
I'm basically just playing as a Boy Scout, like the whole game. Like I'm very excited to see how these romance options work and all that stuff.
The romance options are probably one of the most diverse parts of Mass Effect, I feel like.
See, that's what I'm saying. Every female that I've come into contact with, I'm like, is this gonna turn into something? Like I can't.
You gotta
tell.
be careful though, dude. You can't be
hoeing
two-timing. Yeah.
That's the thing, man. Like I see, that's not what I'm gonna do.
They'll call you out on that shit, bro.
See, I'll call you out on that. But like, I'm excited to see how that plays out because right now, I mean, like the main one. What's the chick's name? The first chick you meet?
Wait, no, it depends on which game.
First one. She's like, you save her.
It starts with an A, I think.
Ashley.
Ashley, that's right.
Yeah, Ashley. So, like, whenever you save her and it's like, you did a good job, soldier, she's like, thank you. Like, she like, gives you that, like, I really like you look. Like, it's so obvious.
It's funny because, like, you can have the option to be gay with Caden.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
and he'll do the same thing if you say the right thing to him. He'll give you that, like I want to be with you look and like say some shit.
I'm not even chilling with Caden though. I'm all about Garrus, dude.
Oh, dude, Garrus is my boy, bro.
Can you go gay for Garrus?
I don't think so. There's only a little bit of like cross-species sex that can take place.
Oh yeah, I forgot because certain species can't.
I think you can have sex with Tali, and I think you can have sex with There's
Tali.
There's an Asari you meet later in the game. I can't remember her name, but I think you can.
You mean the chick that's like
not the consort,
the masseuse lady?
You can totally have sex with the consort as well.
I could tell that was the thing. It was really weird because she was like, now I need to give you something. I'm like, what is happening here? What's about to happen? But see, I'm like the good guy, like I play the good guy the whole time. So I wasn't even,
Yeah, if you play your cards right, you can totally get your freak on.
See, I wasn't trying to do that, especially because Ashley's hanging out, so it's like it'd be messed up. I'm like, this is just this whole game, man. It's like a dating simulator.
It is. It's got a lot of dating simulator elements. It really does. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's one of the biggest draws of Mass Effect to me. I know that sounds stupid and
no, like it's like
really
playing KOTOR, but with a dating simulator added in.
Yeah,
that's exactly.
In KOTOR, you could kind of hook up with Bastila.
That doesn't really count though, and it was rated T, so they weren't about to take it to the next level.
Yeah, no,
it was gonna be we're going to the 8th grade dance. Like
I'm sad they're not gonna have romance options in Anthem because that's something BioWare has always done so well. Like the most recent Dragon Age they did, Dragon Age Inquisition, it had so many romance options. It was ridiculous. Like
really,
yeah, and they did a really good job on that one. I feel like.
Man, I need to play in that after I get done with Hopefully, they put Mass Effect 2 on Games Pass because as soon as this gets done, I got to move on. But yeah, so that's what we've been playing currently. Now we're gonna move into the topic of the show, guys. This one's a little bit controversial,
just a little.
So if you get like what's the word, offended by by people talking about Christianity in any way, then you should probably just not listen to this episode. But if you don't care, stick around because we're doing Bible stories that should be video games.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting. Okay. So first off, I wanted to start this topic off with a little bit of background into Bible video games and ones that already exist.
Oh, wow. Yeah, please educate me.
So
they exist?
Yeah.
Is there like a VeggieTales game out there?
Oh, I guarantee you. But like the most recent one I'm gonna go to the very most recent one. Is a game called Nimcore for PC.
Is it good though? Nimcore? That sounds tight.
Nimcore.
What's it about? The Bible.
It says, "Welcome to the only." See, this is like I feel like it's like a card game. It's like or maybe Nimcore isn't it? Maybe a Bible word puzzle is the most recent one. But there's also a game called like Invisible Enemies that came out in 2018. There's one Defenders of Faith 2. So there was
shit! What's Defenders of Faith 2 about? That sounds dope.
Yeah, that's what I said. So like
that sounds like some of the games I've made in my little list.
It's on C+ Games Online. So I mean, like you're not looking at these they're not high quality games.
See, that's what I'm talking about, though.
Big budget, but
big budget. You know.
So like it goes as far back as the 1980s. In 1982, Bible Scramble games came out to the TRS-80 color computer. And then they had like Noah's Ark and all these other things, which I know one of the games on the NES is called like the Bible NES, and that game's worth like $600. Like if you can find it, apparently. I don't know why, but it is.
Bible for NES, that's what it's called?
It's called Bible NES, I think is what it's called.
Interesting.
But yeah, and I also remember whenever I was a kid, there's this place in Huntsville called Rainbow Bible Bookstore. And my mom would go there a lot. And one time when I went in there with her, I saw that they had a PC game. And it was a first-person shooter.
No fucking way.
Made similar to Quake. It looked very similar to Quake.
What? Yes.
And it was called Catechumen. Catechumen, and it says it's a Roman-themed first-person shooter video game developed by Enlightening Software. Set in ancient Rome during the days of the early Christian church, the game follows a young Christian student as he delves deep into a labyrinth of Roman catacombs in order to rescue his mentor and brethren from Satan and his demons.
See, that's what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. That sounds tight, dude.
And it was rated T.
Who said you can't have a Christian video game, dude? That sounds dope.
Now listen to the review on this one, because it says like the more Christian, or it says Christian critics gave it better reviews than the more secular ones. But listen to this secular reviewer, Johnny Liu from Game Revolution, said he was more critical towards the game, giving it a D-, criticizing the game's poor enemy AI and outdated graphics. He concluded his review by saying that the only thing saving it from an F is our healthy fear of God. So you gotta love that.
Oh, that's great.
So I guess now that we have like a little history that there are games like this, or people have tried to make games like this, we're gonna give you some ideas that we think would make great Bible games.
Yeah, most of mine are based on like stories from the Bible.
Of course, yeah.
And
that was one thing. I was trying to think how to do this without it being completely just void of any type of connection to the Bible. You know, like I want to do it to where it's almost like you can't really alter the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So like technically you're supposed to keep it in line. Yeah. So if you're doing a Bible game, and I'm not talking about just being a Christian or whatever, because I'm not, but like say you take it and you want to sell it as a Christian game,
sure,
you got to stick to the story. You got to stick to the script. So I wanted to make it as close to the script as possible and make it, you know, a game that would sell.
Absolutely, I feel you. I mean, it's the same concept as like how we were talking about Assassin's Creed earlier and the Animus and all that. You know, you can't just go around willy-nilly changing shit to fit your narrative. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So you have to. That's the one good thing about the Bible, though, is that a lot of these passages have real open-ended ways that they phrase things. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of it is very loose and open for interpretation.
Yeah, a lot of it's open for interpretation. A lot of gaps, like in storylines, like
and the gaps you could fill in with awesome gameplay. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
So join us.
Okay. So you want me to kick it off?
Yeah, sure, dude.
Okay, well, I know you were talking about a Noah's Ark game earlier that exists.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But I think we need our own, like a good Noah's Ark game. Okay.
How were you wanting to do this?
So, okay, I'm thinking you could do it two ways. Okay.
Give me way number one.
Way number one. It's like a 3D adventure game where you go around like an open world.
Like a collectathon?
Like a collectathon, but you have to manage your resources, right? So you have to like collect wood, right? And you have to collect animals, but you have to like also manage your time building. It's like 7 Days to Die.
Hold up. You just gave me the perfect idea. Minecraft Noah's Ark expansion.
Oh shit, boy.
And you gotta like go out and find the animals and bring them back to your ark.
That would be great, actually. That's kind of what I'm imagining, actually, but with more like Fortnite-y graphics. You know what I mean?
Yeah, more realistic. But I feel like if you give it the randomly generated world that you get in Minecraft, and like it's like okay, the ark has to be built to these exact specifications,
right?
Like in
the story.
Yeah, like in the story, then that would be so cool. I mean, like because then you'd have to go and collect all the exact stuff and then.
But you don't like. I think the biggest gameplay draw to that would be like managing your time, and then also collecting like food and stuff for the trip.
You have 4 days to do it or whatever.
You have like a certain amount of time to do it, and then after you do it, you have to make him survive for like what was it, 40 days and 40 nights or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like that would get really hard, especially like or not survival, but you have to like keep all the animals alive.
Oh yeah. You'd have to make it to where something interesting was going on during the time at sea. Like big waves will come at you, and like
See, and mine, like yours is way more elaborate than mine. I actually had Noah's Ark as well, but I wanted it to be Noah's Ark Tycoon. So like the whole time you're just like on the ship, you have to like, you can build to make the ship bigger and stuff like that, and like save more animals or like, and you got to like take care of all the animals on the ship and keep them from, like eating each other and doing stuff like that. So
I actually had an idea for like a tycoon type game as well.
Which one's that?
What if you did like Adam and Eve, but it was like Sim City basically, and like you start as Adam and Eve, right? And like it's basically like Civilization. You know how like you like over the time it builds into like modern worlds and stuff. Like you could do it, but start like I guess as from scratch as you could with Adam and Eve. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
that would be kind of a cool game.
Well, one I was thinking of was Revelations VR, the Armageddon. And so like basically it just like a VR experience of whoever makes it, like their idea of what the entire book of Revelations is going to be like. So like the end of times.
Hell yeah.
So you have these, and it's up to interpretation. I mean, even in Revelations, it talks about these locusts that are like steel-plated chest locusts with scorpion stingers that are bigger than like a giant human, and like they're flying around just like murdering people and stuff like that. So I want to see what this looks like, or I want to see what somebody's interpretation of that. Do they take it metaphorically, and then like, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, it could mean a helicopter, and he just saw it back then, in his vision and didn't know what it was, or like, how would you interpret that,
Did you ever play Darksiders?
No, I haven't.
It's a real interesting game. It's kind of like God of War style, like original God of War style. But it's based on Revelations, and you play as one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, and you like go around and
really
fuck up demons and shit. It's crazy. It's kind of a tight game.
Sounds like just
they had a sequel to it too. It was
that's it. I've heard that was a lot like Zelda for some reason.
It's just like God of War. I mean, if I had to compare it to anything, it's like original God of War,
okay,
or like Dante's Inferno. But
those are some. That's another game that's like a Bible related game, but it's not technically Bible.
I was about to say because Dante's Inferno was actually like a book that he wrote. I don't think it was,
but it's related to the Bible. Is what I'm saying. Like it talks about places that exist in the Bible, such as hell. But I mean, hell doesn't technically have layers in the Bible.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. I actually think a Revelations thing would be really cool, but I want to do it like a survival horror game. Okay.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Wouldn't that be tight? Like Outlast style, where it's like, okay, the revelations are happening around you, but like, you know how you're talking about like flying
Locust.
metal scorpions and shit? I'm thinking like that's all interpreted as like jets and shit, you know? But like the bowls of wrath and shit are interpreted literally like fucking like fireballs and shit coming down, you know what I mean? So you got this like apocalyptic scene with like demons walking around and you're like hiding in cupboards trying to get somewhere.
So
Okay. You're trying to get to Jerusalem, dude. Because like all of Revelation, they're talking about how the second coming of Christ and stuff. Everybody's going to be chilling in Jerusalem. So like maybe their whole objective in the game is to get from like North America to Jerusalem. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, basically it'd be like the Left Behind series, but like the game. I feel like that,
kind of, but really scary. I'm
really
like
brutal.
Really scary and brutal, like almost like Agony, but like more.
Oh yes,
but more like Hell on Earth type situation. Like say, okay, you got to get from America to the other continent somehow. So you get on a plane, right? And you're like on the plane, and suddenly some demonic shit happens on the plane.
Or like,
and so you're stuck on this fucking plane, and you have to be on it for an extended period of time without getting caught. You know,
I thought you were gonna say it was gonna like bring you down into the sea or something.
Oh, that could happen too. I mean, all kinds of fucked up shit. You know, like, or you're like flying and you look out the window. The one thing about this game that I think would be important is that it's like viscerally beautiful. You know what I mean? It would have to be like really well done with graphics. You know what I mean?
And you could say, since like you're one of the like good ones that were left behind, like you still want to try and get, obviously to Jerusalem and
definitely.
get behind God and whatnot. So like on your way, like random events occur where like God kind of helps you out. So
like miracles and shit.
Whenever the plane crashes in the sea, like maybe you get swallowed by a whale, and like
that's like Jonah, and he spits you out.
But imagine walking around in the well for a second, and like just a split, maybe like a couple minutes or whatever, you get to just kind of take in that scenery,
dude. Yeah, and then you're just regurgitated, like that would be.
This is something like Hideo Kojima could.
That would be cool on different levels too, because it would be like parallels to other stories from the Bible mixed in. You know what I mean? I don't know. I really could see that being a dope game.
I mean, I can already see the game. Like I see it.
Me too. I see it in my mind. Yeah,
it'd be so cool. Another one I was thinking about was pre-Genesis, or like whenever he's talking. He doesn't mention it in Genesis, but there's parts where he talks about Satan being cast out of heaven and stuff like that, and like 3/4 of the angels that go with him or whatever, see, and how there was a war in heaven, or like he talks about that in the Bible.
Ooh, the war in heaven might be kind of cool.
Definitely. You see, in like
you always have all these games that take place in hell, like Agony, Dante's Inferno, games like that, but you never see a game that takes place in heaven, other than like God of War, but that doesn't really take place in heaven. He just makes his way there and kind of beats down the gate. But that's like Mount Olympus heaven.
Yeah. I mean? See, this is like I want the Christian heaven, and like the
pearly gates and shit.
Well, I don't even know, because like I guess at this point, I don't know if that stuff technically exists. That's the thing, is I want somebody to create what they imagine heaven looked like pre-humans, pre-earth and all that stuff, because there's like even a part in the Bible like way later on where God's talking, and he talks about how like the cities had crumbled or whatever, but he's talking about before Genesis, and he's like the cities were crumbled and all this stuff, and he's talking about where the angels lived, which I think would be so crazy to talk about, or like maybe even
to like portray.
Yeah, like I obviously there's no like, okay, this is what it was, or even
I think that's why you could have a lot of like cool artistic liberty with that.
You just have all these like super like jacked like angels just fucking duking it out in heaven, like, and like say you're Michael and you end up like, because he's the one who eventually casts Satan out of heaven, so like you have to fight all the way up to Satan, and then like take him out. And
that would be sick.
Just
that would be kind of tight, dude. And the question is, would you have like your typical angel with wings and your typical like little red demon with like a horn tail, or would you like have them all looking crazy? Like
I say like
Would they all look like monsters? That would be insane. What if like the angels and the demons were like crazy monster looking things? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
or you could go a whole 80s like you could like style with it, where they're just like jacked like soldier looking dudes.
yeah,
and then like
yeah, that'd be tight.
And like
Mr. T, just like
yeah, like that kind of fighting, or like Striker, you know, like I'm talking like a Mortal Kombat type game, but in heaven.
Yeah, I
and
can
like
see that.
You fight each, you know.
I had that written somewhere. I think it'd be cool to have a fighting game, like a biblical fighting game where you can play as like Cain and Abel and David and Goliath and like
there's like a secret
Jesus and shit. Like,
no, you gotta unlock like the secret fight between
fatality.
Who was it? I think it was who fights God in the desert? You know, do you remember that? Where like he like sees an angel in the desert and like they wrestle, and then he like makes God tap out.
No,
like,
what? I don't remember that.
I'm gonna Google that while you do. Keep
right,
going.
I'll talk about a different one. I think it'd be cool to have a video game based on the life of King David from the Bible. You know, the famous David that like killed Goliath and all that shit. You know what I mean? But he did a whole bunch of other shit. Like according to the Bible, he let's see, he had a fight with his, with King Saul and his son, and he killed them. He conquered Jerusalem. He was the king for a while. He brought the Ark of the Covenant to the city. He did all kinds of
Who are we
crazy
talking
shit.
about right now?
King David, the guy who killed Goliath. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, and he had some parts in his life where he went kind of dark.
Dude, yeah, there's a one story here. I wrote it down because it was so crazy. Let's see. It says here that he was told to get 100 foreskins by King Saul. He wouldn't give King Saul. He wanted to marry King Saul's daughter, right? King Saul was like, "No, you got to bring me 100 foreskins." So he went out and got 200 foreskins and brought them back.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of crazy motherfucker? Like, that could be like a collectible throughout the game.
That's
just
what
like
I was about
foreskins.
to say. You could do like even like a mobile game where there's different collectathon things, where it's like for Noah's Ark you collect animals, for David you collect foreskins, and like it's all just different little mini games where you collect shit. But okay, so I found that verse I was talking about. So it says, the same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had, and Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why is it that you ask my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered." So that was Genesis 32:32. And like in the interpretations, they say that he was wrestling with God. So like he tapped out God, dude.
Damn, dog.
Jacob, or Israel, as
that guy definitely needs to be in the fighting game.
Yeah, he stepped up his challenger.
That could be his like bio. You know how they'd all have like character bios. So you'd like go up into his bio and be like, tapped out God one time.
It's like Jacob, Israel, Jacob, like God. Oh wait, I can't even say that. But yeah, it was very, very, very intense. I think that could be like a secret fight that you unlock. Like,
definitely.
I don't know how that would work, but
I think the most obvious video game, that should be made from the Bible is probably the story of Samson. You know what I mean?
Of course, dude.
The guy with the long hair. For those of you that don't know the story of Samson, he's this dude, and he had hella long hair, and his hair was the source of his power, and he was like strong like Hercules, and he just basically just beat the shit out of everybody. And like he killed a fucking lion with his bare hands, and like he was like the mortal enemy of like the Philistines or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And he fucking like this army was like attacking him, and he like rips a fucking jawbone off of a donkey and kills the entire army of Philistines with the jawbone of a donkey. This is like his legacy. And then one night, whenever he's asleep, his freaking wife sneaks in the room and cuts his hair off, and he loses his power, and she turns him over to the Philistines, and they like gouge his eye out, or both of his eyes out, and they like chain him up in this room, and like basically freaking he prays, and he's like, oh, I need the power, God, and God gives him his power back, and he pulls the whole entire building down and kills everybody in the building, including himself.
Yeah, it's the most intense story. It's out of the entire Bible. I feel like it is.
Definitely.
It's the most diehard or like Taken type story in the Bible. And like he just, he uses up that last bit of strength he has to just like take everyone out. Like he
everybody with him. Yes.
Yeah. Like last
so satisfying. Like,
it really is. It's pretty intense, and I like the anime connection there with the long hair. It makes him super strong,
and the fact that it just says he kills armies of Philistines. Like in the Bible, it's very nondescript about how it talks about how he massacres Philistines, but like it doesn't really tell like how many or where or when, which kind of leaves.
He's just like a serial killer.
It's like the perfect outline for a video game if you think about it.
Oh yeah,
because he could kill as many Philistines as he wants. As long as they're Philistines, you could just have him killing Philistines the whole fucking game. You know what I mean?
You could pull
like,
a Dynasty Warriors
really
type situation. And then just like a mix of like Dynasty Warriors. Or like spots like God of War almost.
Yeah, I'm thinking like a classic God of War game. I think like your base weapon would be like the jawbone. You know what I mean? But he'd have all kinds of other weapons too.
I feel like you couldn't make that the base weapon because that'd be so over. Like it'd be like. Okay.
Well, I mean, like you're unarmed. Like say you like all your weapons break and you don't have anything left. He just pulls out like a fucking donkey jaw and just starts chopping up heads with it.
Yeah, and it has to be as brutal as like a God of War game. So like,
definitely,
it starts out there's just like a donkey just chilling, and like you see these guys coming, they're like, there he is, and like you like look around, and you're like, oh shit, like the donkey's like, and like you just grab it and just yank it. And then like get it. I think that'd be pretty intense.
I think it'd be tight if like during the game you had like they all like shoot you with arrows and shit, and it's not doing anything, but then like they start overwhelming you, and like they hold you down, and they like cut off some of your hair, and like you like watch your hair like grow back kind of slowly like a health bar, but for like a little bit you're like really vulnerable. I don't know.
I like that.
I feel like that would be an epic gameplay like mechanic type thing. You know what I mean? Where you're just like constantly so overwhelmed. Like you're so powerful compared to the enemies, but there's so many of the enemies that they can pull shit like that on you. I don't know.
Dude, that's a good idea. I think that's probably like one of the best ones we've got so far here. Overall, I think like doing like a telltale version of like just each book in the Bible outside of like the ones where it's just like law the whole time, just like the ones where there's stories going on, even up for Jesus, like doing like maybe you could play as Judas or something.
I was thinking okay, on the telltale side of things,
yeah,
you need like a Jesus based game, okay, where it's basically the whole game is about Jesus. Okay, it's a 5-chapter game like Telltale, and the first chapter it's like baby Jesus, the second chapter and third chapter are like adult Jesus. The fourth chapter is like, nearing the end of the life Jesus. You know what I mean? Maybe even like the crucifixion and shit. And then the fifth chapter is like life after Jesus, But I'm thinking every chapter, you don't play as Jesus ever.
Yeah, you're always somebody involved.
That would just be too perfect. You can't like, you can't have like dialogue options if you're Jesus. It just doesn't work that way. But if you're somebody like learning from the teachings of Jesus or something, walking around with Jesus.
Ooh, like maybe someone that's not mentioned in the Bible, but like
sure, maybe, or
one
like
of his like followers.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, like on the first chapter, you play as like Joseph or somebody who's like trying to find the end to give birth. So like, Mary can give birth. Maybe the second chapter you're one of the disciples or something, or you know what I mean, like somebody who's still prominent enough to be around Jesus for an extended period of time. You know what I mean?
Or maybe like instead of playing as Joseph, you play as one of like the three kings, and you're like trying to find them, and like you're like going through the desert, and like maybe you have to like fight people along the way. I don't know, just trying to make it more video gamey, but like just throw some action in there. But
you know what I think would be cool?
What's that?
Is like, you know that game, The Inpatient, for VR?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Until Dawn almost, but like it's in VR. You know what I mean? I want something like that with like not scary, but like a Telltale game, but in VR basically, but less Telltale and more like, super massive. But I want like the whole story of Moses in VR. You know what I mean? Like starting from when you're floating down the Nile River, like you see all the like clouds passing you by, and then like you can kind of look around, and then you get picked up, and all the Moses shit happens to you. You know what I mean? But it's all like really story driven, but it's all in VR. You know what I mean?
So would you end it right at the sermon, or like right where you're about to like get the tablets? Or
No. You'd go through like I mean you'd probably end it when they started wandering for 40 years.
Oh, okay. So you wouldn't make it to the tablets. So like that's what I'm saying. So like the tablets happen after they're like in the desert for a minute.
Maybe just end it right when Moses dies, when he's like right as he's going up to the promised land. You know what I mean? Like
that would be cool. But I feel like there's a lot of stuff in between that would have to happen, or like stuff that would make, because basically once he gets to the part where he's getting the tablets, it's like 2 books of him just being like, do this, don't do that, do this, don't do that.
Well,
so, like,
obviously you'd cut out some of the more boring things, you know? You know what I mean? Like
earning that controversial title. Yeah.
I think the wandering in the desert would be like a few of the iconic things that happen, and then it would just end. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we really need to go.
Yeah, I agree with
deep.
That. Like I like the
the
Bible just like as an experience. Like I want to have like a VR like experience.
I think that would be really cool.
Parts.
Some parts would be extremely cool in VR. I feel like the burning bush.
Oh yeah,
the Red Sea parting.
And like you could honestly make that to sell to Christians, like if you did it right, because it'd be almost like a historical like whenever you think of like museum VR experience.
Absolutely. If you had enough content, I think churches would start buying PlayStation 4s and VR headsets just to have at the church, so people could go experience these like historical places if
that
they're
would be crazy.
Well done enough. You know what I mean?
It's like Mount Sinai and all this stuff.
Yeah, that would be sweet. Like you could take them to the real place. You know what I mean? Like I don't know,
dude. Good call. I feel like we did pretty good with that topic. You got more? You got anything like super?
Let me see. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything great. I do have a few more that I haven't talked about, but they're not that important.
Hey, you drop them if you feel it, you do it.
Let's see. Nah, you know what? I think it's okay. I think we're good.
I think I'm all Bibled out, dude. No, just kidding. No. I feel like we had some pretty good ideas that time. I didn't know how that was gonna go, and I feel like we were pretty close, like on ideas. Like we were thinking of some of the same things, so it was easy to flow with that. I like it. Let's move on from the topic of the show, guys, to the People's Champ. The People's Champ, and this week, the People's Champ is Devin Mayer, if I'm right.
I believe you are right.
I don't want to be throwing out names and then it's not the People's Champ. Get the hopes up.
Sorry, my phone is extra slow right now. All right, here we go. The People's Champ is Devin Mayer.
Boom, I was right.
You were right. And he said, who's better at video games, you or Jamal?
Now, this I don't know.
It's very debatable. It depends on what game, for sure.
Yeah, because I feel like
Jamal's going to beat me at Mario Kart any given day.
And even in that situation, there's a lot of luck that goes into Mario Kart. So I feel like you got to give a more specific, like what genre.
You get me on Dead or Alive 3,
I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
It's over.
It's like I can't even land a hit on Brent and Dead or Alive.
We're both pretty good at Smash Bros.
I'm not that great. I'm like okay. Like I feel like whenever we've played together, you've beat me more, but not by much.
You're better than most people at Smash Bros. You know what I mean? You can hang.
can hang with the boys.
Halo, Jamel's better at Halo for sure. Jamel's real
I will
good
take
at
that
Halo.
one. I will take that. But
whereas, like, I might be better at like Call of Duty or something. You know what I mean?
I'm sure. I haven't played Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2, really. I mean, like, played. But I'm trying to think of what's something that we both play that, like, a pretty... I feel like we tend to play a lot of games that are, like, narrative-focused and, like,
it's
single player.
It's true. It's hard to gauge your skill at a game like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember the last time we just busted on split screen multiplayer or like went on Xbox Live and fought each other. Even like the games that we have played together, we played together. You know, it's like co-op.
Yeah, generally.
So, I say we need to settle this one day. We need to stream it. We need to have
the
everybody...
game speak game off, dude.
Yeah, Devin Mayer and everybody in the group. You guys got to choose one game for us to face off in. Give us a month to get good.
To train, go into training camps.
Yeah, we got to have like a training montage, and then we'll duke it out and we'll stream it live and see who gets who's good. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm down with that.
Okay, so let's move on to listener questions. Thanks, Devin, for being the champion in our hearts.
The champ.
What kind of listener questions we got over there?
We got Justin Walker over here.
Hey, Justin.
He says, is the new Xbox All Access setting us up for a straight cloud-based gaming system in the future? Would it be better or worse?
I think yes. I think better. I think it's setting us up for, like I said earlier, a whole different future in the industry. Like,
it's a slippery slope, bro. No, I'm just kidding.
A slippery slope.
No, I don't know.
It's more like a slippery slide to Fun Town.
I think,
you know what I'm saying?
I definitely like what they're doing here, but, and I definitely think that eventually we're going to be streaming everything.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think people like owning their games and stuff,
For now. I mean, I think the generations to come won't care. Like, for us... Yeah, it's like, oh, I like owning a physical copy of something.
Not even
sometimes.
Just a physical copy. I mean, like, I like owning digital copies, Like, I know that I own it, it's attached to my account,
Yeah, you don't like the idea that you don't have $10 that month, you can't play your game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it's a tough situation, but I think that's what's going to end up happening because it's cheaper for the publishers and they can make more money. I think that...
But then again, can they make more money in some regards? Because if it goes to an all-streaming service...
It'll be under something like Steam or something.
Exactly. Are they going to make as much money as if they just drop a game and everybody buys that game?
Depends on what kind of deals they make with each...
Like, think about a show on Netflix, okay? Did those people get more money because their show has been watched more than other shows?
I don't know. I honestly don't know how
that works. But if that's the case, Well,
like... my thing with the streaming is that eventually it's going to have to happen whether they want to or not, just because the sheer numbers of people that will jump into something like that. Physical copies are just going to become a waste of money to make because they're not going to sell. So like at some point they're going to be making them in vain.
I definitely think physical copies are the way out. But that's a whole different thing than
digital. Yeah,
straight cloud based.
But
gaming systems. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think even going cloud based would completely get rid of digital copies. I think you're always going to have that like ownership over your games. At least for a long time. I think you're going to be going like maybe 2 more console generations before that's even a thing, because not everybody has that type of setup. Not everybody can stream stuff. As crazy as that sounds, like there's a lot of places, even in America, like rural America, that you can't get good enough internet to stream stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that'd be a bad idea until it's more popular, I guess, with people.
I think we're getting there, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got Dylan Parton here.
Who's that?
Who that boy is? He says, anyone surprised that it was a Madden player that snapped?
See, this controversial episode.
Honestly,
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I think honestly, like, were you surprised it was a match? I
mean, I'm not super surprised. I mean, it's a little bit like I would expect this to happen at like QuakeCon or something a little more than I would
a Madden game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I definitely feel picking up what you're putting down here. You know what I mean? It's a little weird.
But there also, I don't follow the Madden, pro esports and stuff like that.
No,
but
either.
From what I've read, everyone that plays in the Madden leagues are extremely good at trash talking each other.
Sure.
So like, maybe he just couldn't take the heat.
Really trash talk.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's kind of a toxic community. I haven't spent a lot of time online on Madden. I do know that like most of the people on the UFC game are pretty chill, and that's an EA Sports community, so I don't know.
But you're also not playing pro, so like these guys, I'm
True.
talking about but amongst each other, because like there was they were trying to blame this other guy, like the internet was trying to blame this guy before they put out who the actual shooter was, and it was a guy who had lost the previous game. And he was like, there was like a clip of him talking mad trash, like as he lost, and everybody's like, "Oh, it was him. He snapped," and it wasn't even that guy.
Wow.
So, which sucks for that dude.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. Oh God.
And they were like pulling up his tweets, and he was like, he said something along the lines of like, "Man, he's like, if I get another one of these, he's like, I'm gonna fucking kill somebody."
Oh shit.
Like people were plastering that everywhere, and they're like, it's obvious who did this.
Oh my goodness.
And
well, people draw parallels and shit like that
so quick. Yeah, dude. I just think it's like, but it just goes to show that the trash talking and like the anger, it happens in that community a lot. So whether or not it's a shooter or like a violent game,
I just didn't expect that from any, I don't know.
Any human being.
We're better than this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's more surprising that it happened at all. Not what I wouldn't even be.
And you think of like a video game like tournament as like a peaceful place where most people are like-minded in the sense that we're all hanging out having a good time.
Yeah, you shake hands after.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the place where something like this would happen. Much less a place where something like this would happen by one of the people who was competing. Like maybe if some like jihad dude just walked in there and started killing people because there's a lot of people gathered.
That's what I was thinking at first.
But the fact that it's just some sore loser, it makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that is so horrible.
It's
like
very Columbine, like, in that aspect. But, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Let's go.
Thomas Shepard says...
Hey, Thomas.
He says, which Bethesda world would you like to vacation in? Definitely not Fallout.
I don't know. I think I'd like to vacation in Fallout.
Oh, fuck that.
Like if I was, like as badass as my Fallout character, why not?
That would be lame, bro.
Dude, I would love.
There's like radiation everywhere, like no working toilets, and fucking like that would suck. Dude.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
I guess
at least fucking like Skyrim or someplace would be beautiful.
Be like going to eat at medieval times. Or
yeah,
something.
Exactly.
I guess.
I don't know. Actually, okay, which Bethesda world? We're thinking Skyrim. We're thinking Elder Scrolls. It doesn't have to
Doom.
be any of those. Doom. I don't know, man.
I'm just kidding. Okay, well, place to vacation in.
Wolfenstein's world would suck, but at least it wouldn't be like mutants and shit running around trying to kill you.
Just Nazis.
Just Nazis.
But the thing is, with that game, it's so campy that it's not scary. It's
exactly.
like you're gonna live because you're the good guys. So
yeah.
It's like I think I'll take Wolfenstein.
Let's think of other Bethesda games that exist. There's Wet. There's Brink. There's
I was about to say
Rage.
Brink.
There's
Brink might be a good one.
Mm-hmm. Brink might be a good one. Let's see. What other Bethesda games are there?
There was that pirate game they made forever. I don't know. There's really no good place to vacation with Bethesda.
No, not at all.
Every place is like a hell or
think about it.
A very brutal landscape. Maybe I guess like somewhere in Elder Scrolls is probably your best
Yeah.
bet, just because it's so like fantastic.
Gotta be Elder Scrolls somewhere.
I'll go Skyrim.
Yeah, Skyrim's nice.
That's
Oblivion. I mean, not Oblivion.
I guess Oblivion's a little bit better because it's less.
Well, Oblivion's
snowy.
actually hell, if you think about it. Like you're Cyrodiil would be the place you were at in Oblivion.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, Cyrodiil's nice.
Going to Disney.
Let's see. Joey Evans says favorite battle royale game. I fucking hate Fortnite personally. I'm on that H1Z1 though. Not hating or anything, but Fortnite is probably my favorite battle royale game for sure. It's just so constantly updated, and it's just generally less boring than H1Z1, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the only battle royale game that I really play is PUBG, but
H1Z1 is a lot like PUBG. I mean, it's almost the same game,
my thing,
only with less to do.
I've said it, and I'll say it again. Fortnite is, in fact, the Nickelback of video games. And it's only going to keep turning more and more into that. But, I mean, like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I can't play it because I'm so tired of it. And I haven't even really played it. That's the thing. Like, I've played it a little bit, but I'm just tired of it already because I guess everybody's, like, overhyping it. You know, like, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a game that, like, you just spend your entire life in.
I mean, don't get me wrong either. You know, I don't play Fortnite constantly or anything, but I go back to it regularly and I enjoy myself.
It seems
every
fun.
time.
It seems fun. But PUBG is more like, I like the realistic look.
PUBG is trash.
It is
bro.
trash.
PUBG...
It is so trash. And I think
like,
that's why.
I'm sorry, dude. Like,
I think that's why I don't play battle royale games anymore. Is just because PUBG's trash, and that's the only one that I really want to play.
well, you know, H1Z1 is less buggy, but it doesn't have as much going for it as PUBG. I don't know. There's problems on all the ends, and I think okay.
I'm waiting for blackout mode.
The thing about Fortnite to me that makes it so good is the fact that it's not realistic, so they can get away with doing things like the porta rifts and like the fucking grenades that launch you across the map and shit, and like weird wacky weapons, that you couldn't do in a game that's striving for realism. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what I just thought of, and I'm pretty sure this is like the most real thing in the world.
What?
Cell Damage was the first Fortnite. If you think about it. Like, you have
it was like Battle Royale in cars.
Yeah, and you fight to the death. It's like the last person standing.
Well, it wasn't really the last person standing.
You could. No, that was a
You
mode.
could do it. I guess so. But it was only like 16 player. And
well,
if you really want to go back to the first like 16 player Battle Royale, that would have to be Obi-Wan Adventures, where you could have the Battle Royale. It was even called Battle Royale mode.
I remember that.
You know what I'm talking about?
That's pretty fucking crazy to
You
think
could pick
about.
any of the Jedis, and they would all battle to the death. It was tight. I had a lot of fun with that, actually.
Do you think the creators of that game, like, whenever Fortnite and all that stuff came out, were like, what the fuck, dude? Like, we could have been... But see, the thing is...
They're probably just kicking themselves because they made it at the wrong time.
Exactly. They did it too early.
If that shit had come out in modern day with modern graphics, it would have been so lit. Dude.
With modern internet connection where you can have 100 people in one match.
It was
can
cool.
You imagine Star Wars Battle Royale, dude?
Bro.
But all Jedi and Sith.
That would be sweet. And, if they did it kind of like that, because it was cool because on that game, all the Jedis kind of played the same. You still had to have the same kind of skill. I like that game because the right stick wasn't used to control the camera. It was used to control your lightsaber.
Yeah.
So, like, you push the right stick right, he swings the lightsaber right. So there was a degree of skill that involved with, like, using the lightsaber effectively in a fight. And all the fucking, characters you could play as had generally the same like lightsaber thing, but they all had their own little move that made them unique, like their force move.
Well, see, I think that would be really cool if they did that exact same thing, but like just made it a little bit more technical with the lightsabers. like maybe give you almost enough freedom that like nobody's gonna play the same way as the next person.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like
that would be really cool.
almost like Skate, but with the lightsaber.
You know, that's one thing about that UFC game that I've been playing. I've noticed that when I go online, nobody plays it the same way. You know, you fight these people online. First of all, I'm always getting my ass beat online. Always. But everybody plays a different way. You know, some people will clinch you and they'll go for like different clinches, and like some people will throw combinations. I don't know, but the way they have it set up is like everybody fights very, very unique and different, and it's interesting because like you can really bring your style in. It's not just like a button masher. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Let's see what else we got here. Sarah Brock says to us, she says, "Have you guys heard about the new subscription-based gaming program Nintendo is putting out for Switch?"
Sarah's voice has completely changed since the last time. Yeah. Yes, I have. Are you talking about the? I'm assuming she's talking about the $20.
I believe so. The Nintendo Online or whatever.
Yeah, it's like $20 a month or something like that, like $80 a year, and
very reasonable.
Very, very
everything
reasonable.
Nintendo does is like reasonably priced. If you ask me,
not $20 a month. I'm sorry, it's like $5 a month. And so
no, I think it's 20.
Not a month. No.
20 a year or something.
20 a year. That's what it is.
It's
or
really
$5
cheap.
a month.
Even 20 a month isn't that bad.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you're right.
Pretty bad.
That is terrible.
It's like $20 a year.
I apologize. Yeah,
but it's really cheap compared to all the other online services. And then you get access to like the SNES classics and
right.
NES
There's
classics.
like 20 NES games on there or something like that right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're gonna add more. Well, it's not out yet.
No, yeah.
But
here we go. Here's the pricing. 1 month is $3.99. 3
Okay.
months is $7.99, and 12 months is $19.99, which is very
so
reasonable.
ridiculous. But see, and
oh look, and you can get the family membership for $34.99, which I think covers like you
multiple
and like 7
consoles
people or some shit like so.
Yeah, the only thing that people really have an issue with that I've noticed is that they're like, oh well, now if I want to play Splatoon online, I have to have like their online service. But it's $20 a year, dude.
Yeah, I mean this is the same people that were probably complaining when PlayStation started their service. You know, I mean,
you want better quality, you got to pay.
It's true, and if you look at the difference between when PlayStation announced their service and whenever they started their service, and like the quality of PlayStation's like store and like just service in general online, I mean it's night and day. Like it got so much better when they started charging for it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude, definitely.
And like I don't know, I can only imagine that Nintendo's online service is going to get better. You know,
I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited to see if they put N64 games on there and stuff like that.
I think it's coming eventually. I mean, did you hear like most of the emulators and stuff have gotten taken down from that lawsuit?
Really?
Yeah, like it's harder to get ROMs now than it was. I'm not going to say it's impossible.
Yeah, nothing's impossible.
But
with the
they
World Wide Web.
Nintendo's really cracked it down quite a bit.
Do your thing, Nintendo. But yeah, so is that the last question?
I believe so, yes.
All right, so this is your little segment here. We're gonna
yes.
take it over to Brent Bass
part.
for This Week in Gaming History. Brent, why don't you tell us?
Okay.
What happened?
I got 2 games here
Okay.
for you.
What-
They're both from the year 2000.
Oh, well, that's like prime
It's a
video
good year.
game year for
It's
me.
a good year. Every month when I search for this, or every week when I search for this, I go straight to the year 2000 and begin my search there. I'll go backwards
head
in
back.
time. I'll go forwards in time. But I always start at the year 2000 for some reason. And this year, or this week,
This year.
whatever increment of time, I found 2 that were both in 2000 right off the bat. I wanted to keep searching, but I was like, I don't want to overload everybody.
Yeah,
Plus,
don't-
when next
don't
year rolls
overload.
around, I'm going to have to look twice as hard. So, August 28th, 2000. Can you guess it? Can you guess it?
What console?
It's in 64, but this is the North America release date, not the Japanese release date.
Oh,
It actually came out a little earlier in Japan. I might have actually talked about it a month ago. I don't know.
You're talking about Star Fox?
Nope.
Oh,
Oh, no, I talked about the Game Boy version already, but this is the N64 version.
Oh my God, Game Boy version.
I've already talked about it. Think about this.
Kirby.
No. What Game Boy games have I talked about for this week in history?
Ocarina
that have
of
an
Time.
N64 counterpart.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought Zelda on Game Boy. What the fuck? Dude, that's tough. I don't know. What is it?
I'll give you the same clue I gave you the first time.
Okay.
It's Waluigi's first game.
Oh, Mario Tennis.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the N64
Wow.
one. Wow! August 30th, another great game came out.
Okay.
This one's for PS1, though. Later came to N64, like, a few months later.
Really? It's on both. Wow.
But it was originally on PlayStation.
Is it Rainbow Six?
No. It was a lot more influential to, like, me than it was to, like, you know, the community as a whole, I think.
I don't know. What is it?
It was Spider-Man for
God
PS1.
dang, I should have known. There wasn't
Spider-Man!
many games that were cross-platform back then.
No, and usually when they had like little subtle differences. Like Gauntlet on N64 was totally different than Gauntlet on PlayStation. Things like that.
No, that's crazy. I love Spider-Man, dude.
Spider-Man!
The original Spider-Man.
That game was so great.
Johnny.
Like
That's all I
swinging from
remember.
like building to building. Yeah, dude. That shit was amazing.
And it's just like shooting your web into space.
Climbing up the side of a building felt really good
dude.
back in the day.
Black Cat's like right at the beginning. I remember that part too.
Dude, totally.
But remember, guys, you've been listening to GameSpeak Podcast, courtesy of CreateForSanity.com. The show posts for free every Wednesday on all podcast directories. Be sure to submit any questions you want read on the show to the GameSpeak Podcast Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/GameSpeak Podcast. Check out our video content on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead, hit like, subscribe, and, check out our shit all the time. Anyways, and if you want to stay up to date with your boys, you can find me on Twitter at the handle Aljaafreh Jamal and Brent at Brent Has One. That's the number 1. And check out GameSpeak Podcast Instagram. Until next time, listeners. Later.